back in my day, just the concept of building a student-centered classroom and having the students help you develop the rules is considered to be a best practice because you get buy-in when takes it to a whole new level of helping develop the rules.
Yeah, well, the kids are developing. You can use those kids. You're going to have 1 or 2 kids in your class that have been playing Minecraft forever, that know everything about Minecraft. And you may have kids that don't know so much, but you can use the kids who are way into it to build your content for you. And in that process, they don't realize it, but the best way to learn and how to do something is to teach somebody else. Mm-hmm. And so they're actually strengthening their own skills.
All right. So in this next clip, Mr. Struckhoff goes a little bit more into the process of learning and helping the kids begin to think about their thinking, metacognition. And so let's see what he has to say about it.
So when I first started, I deferred to my own child because I was a little nervous about all of this stuff and the commands and everything else. But he had questions for me if he's going to build. So I had to sit, and together I learned a little bit from him. I only spent a few hours with him. And even though I went to a training, I forgot everything I was trained on. When I started working and interacting with my own child, and then I got to the classroom, I pulled one of the other students up, and I said, here's what I want to do, and we did it together. The cool part was the process itself helped me build that relationship with my students. But I also found out, I think I've always been a little nervous around the coding part and the commands, but they're not that challenging. And the immutable world. My students and I learned that one together, and that simply means they can't break or do anything to destroy any world, and all they can do is the education piece. We joke about the immutable world. I'd say, in all honesty, I've had 6 hours of intensive hands-on training with my children. And I mean the children in the class and my own student. And that's been the training process. Doing it that way was a lot easier than sitting in a classroom learning how to play. They taught me how it works, but more importantly, we could bounce off each other. Because I could say to my student, hey, student A, show me this. Or I want to do this. And they're like, oh, I know. And together we're working together to figure something out. So you have that interaction, and also the student has an idea of what I'm trying to accomplish. So it hasn't been as scary as I thought it was.
Well, I can imagine there'd be a lot of people out there, maybe gamers, but a lot of people that might be concerned about how long it would take to jump into something like this.
Yeah, so the way I think of it is it's kind of like a 3-step process. So the first step would be giving it as an option to the kids who want to use it, who already know how to use it, to turn it in. And then you, as the instructor, would just kind of look at what they've built in Minecraft. So you don't have to know that much to do that. Then the second stage would be using some pre-built resources. Online, Microsoft Education Edition have worlds that you can download in chemistry and social studies and all kinds of subject areas. Then you can just use without having to make it yourself. And the last step, I think, is building custom projects and custom worlds that you can then bring your kids into that you've created once you feel like you've mastered some of this. But like you said, you don't kind of do this all at once. You learn by playing.
And then he shares about some of the resources that he took advantage of as well. So
there's amazing amounts of resources. First of all, there's a plethora of training videos available, but more importantly, you can go on, there's already preset worlds that you can go on. The chemistry ones are wonderful. And you can even watch some of the YouTube ones on chemistry. You'll have teachers showing you what they do, but more importantly, you can go right into the Minecraft resources and look in there and download those worlds, or you can also download what's called biomes, right? Or different, like if you're doing science and you want to do different rocks and you're going to do a piece on geology, those are pre-made. You can go in there with just a few settings, set things up so that nothing can be destroyed, or that certain things can be destroyed, but you can have different rocks, different places, there's a ton of them. You can do rainforest, you can do deserts, on and on and on. There's just an amazing amount of resources available. Again, so it's kind of like, what framework do I want to have? You can go in that framework and create within, or you can go to a preset lesson and go from there. And more importantly, I mean, my approach has been going to where I want to go, and then I have a student look at it and say, I want you to think with how we're going to do this. And you get that student thinking with it, and they're going to help you understand how you can teach the class. And again, it gets back to that metacognitive piece. They're thinking about how to think about the subject and about how to teach it. And that's been, for me, a breakthrough, because I think as a fairly new teacher, getting students, especially your low students, to think about thinking can be challenging. This has really helped me understand a great way to show that. Because if I got to get a student to teach another student about condensation, I can say to him, look, I need you to, I can download a world, I can download just a biome, or I can say create from scratch, but I need you to show me what condensation is. And if he comes back and shows me and it's wrong, I can say, well, here's what I need you to understand, or here's the words we're going to clear up, get those definitions down right, maybe I found out what he missed, and then I can say to him, you got to teach this to other students. And that's what a concept is. And now you see them go, oh, because they built it first for themselves, and now they have to build it with others in mind. And that's where you start making a difference.